Okay, welcome to lesson number 9 from the 5-minute theory. In this lesson, we're going to learn about ledger lines. Now, we know about staff lines. They have 5 lines and 4 spaces. That's a pretty limited amount of notes. Sometimes we want to go higher than the staff allows, or we want to go lower than the staff allows, and we use ledger lines just like a ladder to climb up or climb down off of the staff. So, if you'll think of the highest note of a staff being the note F, if I go above the staff, I'm just going to the note G. If I go above that, I'm going to use my first ledger line to A. So now I'm just going above that ledger line to B. A C will have to use 2 ledger lines. So you can think of it as a ladder. So I have the rung of the ladder that I put my foot on, and then I have the space between the rungs as I'm going up. Works the same way going down. E is our bottom, every good, right? D is that space right below that rung of the staff. C uses a ledger line. B is that space between 2 ledger lines, which would be A. So notice my alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, but I'm going backwards because I'm going down. All right, now we're going to use our musical alphabet to name the notes that are going above and below the staff. So, musical alphabet, you got to know your first note, which is F. Now I'm just going up, above G, my first ledger line, A, above that ledger line in the space, B, 2 ledger lines, C, ooh, now I'm going back down. In that space between the 2 ledger lines, B, here's my ledger line, A, and then right above the staff is G. It takes a little bit of time, just kind of get used to going like climbing a ladder, F, G, A, B, C, okay? The lines are the rungs of the ladder, and then the spaces are the space between the rungs of the ladder. All right, number 2, I'm going down. All right, first note is E for every, okay? Going down the alphabet, D, first ledger line, C. Below C is B. Notice I'm just counting 2 ledger lines, A. Ooh, below 2 ledger lines, G. 2 ledger lines. Notice I didn't keep going. It's not 3 ledger lines, so I'm going back up now. A, and then space above A is B. So I'm using my musical alphabet, but I'm just getting used to seeing those rungs of the ladder or the ledger lines that extend that staff. All right, gets a little harder here. Ooh, number 3, F. Now notice I didn't do A, but C, F-A-C, E. Now, notice that all of these are spaces. So really all I'm doing is skipping every other note. So in between F is, or in between E and G is F, B, D, F, A. It's very, you could keep going and keep going. A lot of really high-pitched instruments really will play very, very high and use a lot of ledger lines. When you play marimba, guess what? Once you get past middle C, you got to use ledger lines going to the bottom of the marimba. Middle C is just the middle of the marimba. So you have a lot of notes above and a lot of notes below that you're going to have to get used to reading. All right, number 4, F. Okay, every good does, every good boy, every good, every. All right, first ledger line. Now notice that I skipped the space, so I skipped D. That's a C. Notice I skipped the space here, so that's an A. 3 ledger lines. Ooh. Skip that space, which is a G, so this would be an F. Okay, so that is ledger lines. Okay, you'll learn a little bit at a time. You don't have to learn how to like read ledger lines that go way down to low F or way up to high A. You won't have to learn that, but you know, a little bit at a time. So this is mostly just getting used to, so you know what the heck we're talking about when we're talking about ledger lines. All right. So the second half of lesson number, whatever we're on, lesson number 9, is just naming notes. Now, so far in our mallet book or in a lot of band books, we have a certain number of notes that we already know. So we're using these ledger lines and we're using flat signs to name the notes. First thing you're going to do here is look at the time signature, 4/4 time. So I'm going to draw in my bar lines. So quarter notes get 1 count. 1, 1, 2. That's a 2 count. And then I'm going to draw a bar line. Quarter note is 1, 1, 1. Half note is 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar line. How many counts does this note get? 4, which means I put a bar line. That gets 2 counts. That gets 2 counts. That's a bar line. That gets 2 counts. That is 1 count and 1 count. 2 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4. So double bar line at the end. All right, let's do the same thing on line number 6. First thing, time signature tells us how many counts are in a measure. First, let's just go through and write in the number of counts for each note. Quarter notes get 1, half notes get 2. Quarter note, quarter note, quarter note, half note, quarter note, quarter note, quarter note, quarter note, whole note, half note, quarter note, quarter note. Now, let's use the time signature to draw in the bar lines. 1 plus 2 is 3, 4, bar line. 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2 plus 1 plus 1, double bar line at the end. Okay, now let's go back to line number 5 and let's write in the note names above, in the boxes above the notes. So this one's simple. That's an F. Now with the ledger line here, we have to figure out what the heck that note is. So as I'm counting down, F, E, D, C has our ledger line, and below that ledger line is B. But now I have a flat sign. All right, this note is E, but I have a flat sign. So I got to write my flat sign. Notice that the flat appears before the note, but I say E flat. So it's flat E when it's written on a staff, but you say E flat. That makes sense? All right, we have one ledger line. That's a C. Below that ledger line is a B flat. Flat B is B flat. F, E, but E flat. C. Middle C is easy because it always has that one ledger line, and then below middle C is the B flat. Where is A then below the staff? Well, if C is one ledger line, B is right here below it, A has 2 ledger lines. Right now, all you got to really know is that C has 1 ledger line. All right, let's do line number 6. We're going to name the notes. F, here's your ledger line. Okay, so that's a C. E flat, don't forget to write your flat sign in. D is below E, right? It's in that space, but doesn't have a ledger line. F, all right, here's the ledger line. It's not in, it's below, so B flat. In the ledger line, C. E flat. There's the ledger line. Below the ledger line is B flat. D, okay? E is the line, bottom line, and right below that would be D in the musical alphabet. C is easy to recognize. F is easy to recognize. E flat. And now we're starting to get used to reading those B flats, yeah? Okay, on line number 7, you're going to draw in the notes that correspond to the note values, but you also have to write it in the place that corresponds to the name of the notes. Now, for percussion, we're going to do everything from F in the first space down to B flat, okay? So we're only using a few notes, and they're going to use that ledger line C and B flat. All right, so How many? First, we got to find a D. So F is here, E is the line, D would be here. But this note value has 2 counts. So what kind of note are you going to draw? A half note. Yes. E is easy to find. This note value, 1 count, would be a quarter note. So we are actually going to draw a dot, yeah, with a stem. This quarter note is on F. So put it there. Let's just keep going and we'll come back and draw our bar lines in a second. 4 counts. What kind of note value gets 4 counts? A whole note. Now you could put it here, but what I'd like you to do is draw a ledger line and put it down here. Okay? Because our B is going to be below that, but I'm going to do a quarter note. C, got our ledger line. Oops, I did that wrong. Okay, I want to make sure my C has 2 counts, which is a half note. So with a stem. D is going to be here, 1 count, is a quarter note. C, again with the ledger line, 4 counts is a whole note. E, flat. Ooh, gotta remember to draw my flat signs. I gotta go back. Flat sign on B, flat sign on E. Don't forget your flat signs if they're marked that way. All right, and F, 2 counts. And then B flat, ledger line, 4 counts is a whole note. Don't forget your flat sign. All right, now we can go back and put our bar lines in. So 4/4 time. We're thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, bar line. Whole note gets 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, bar line. Whole note 4 counts. Half note 2, and then 4 counts at the end there. Okay, so that one was not really easy. So hopefully you were able to follow along as I'm doing that. Really, it's just learning that E is the bottom line of the staff. Going below E is D. C uses the ledger line. B flat is the note below C. So B flat, C, D, E flat, and F. Learning all of those 5 notes, pretty simple, and just getting used to recognizing those on the staff. Okay, so might take a little bit of time to get through that, but it's really, really good for you to take your pencil and to work your way through it, even though it's kind of hard. All right, I'll join you again in the next lesson where we're going to review everything we've learned from the beginning of the book.